Hi, everybody. Welcome to our little chat here about our newly released project called Blurred and Obscured. It's a two-part project, and right now we are going to be discussing the first part, which is Blurred.
I like the second part a lot, but I like the first part maybe a little bit about as much. Okay.
Okay, now that we've established that.
So the first song is, what is it?
You don't know? Okay, the first song is Time in a Bottle.
Oh, yes.
A bottle. I'm gonna pull up some notes here because we want to be good people. 1970, Time in a Bottle came out, written by Jim Croce. So I think I remember you and Mom were discussing other fun songs that we could cover following the Nat King Cole project. And you guys recommended this song, and I didn't know who Jim Croce was or what this song was.
It'll be interesting as we go through all of these songs, how many of them were written when you were alive? It's probably, I know at least one. That's probably just one.
I got news for you. It was just one.
So Time in a Bottle and Jim Croce, me being a man of a certain age, my father was a huge Jim Croce fan, and I remember his 1972 Pinto. It was this horrible car that we had that was famous for blowing up if somebody ran into you from behind.
Oh.
Anyway, he had an 8-track player in this car, which was very state-of-the-art music. He was a huge music fan and totally tone deaf. But he loved Jim Croce. So, man, Time in a Bottle, Operator, Leroy Brown. I mean, all those songs were just coursing through my existence. So, when that song came up, I was like, oh, yeah, we should do something with song.
Father, to daughter.
That's right.
We like that.
That's right.
Now ask me a question.
Okay, so the concept for the song, I mean, it's a weird choice. It's basically a cello. It starts with a cello solo based on a Bach cello suite, except it's done in a minor mode instead of a major mode, how it was originally done. So the thing that's fascinating working with you is that there's this sort of no barrier in terms of what I can present to you, and you just don't go, and it'll be hard to sing. You just sing the song over it. So this one in particular, I thought, how is she going to make all this fit with this kind of contrary anti thing happening? So how do you approach something like that?
I particularly enjoy stuff that sounds sad. I don't know why, but maybe I get it from you. So when you first came to me with that idea with using that kind of whole cello moment, and I know it was a challenge, but I was more so excited to just to try and attempt to put my voice over it.
You're not really thinking, how am I going to do this? You just listen.
Yes.
And sort of make it work.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking better than I can speak words, because that is what I was trying to say.
There's sort of an organic, natural thing about that, because when I came up with the idea, I don't think, well, how's Kalen going to make this work? I don't think that far.
Yeah, you don't have to. I tell lots of people one of my favorite parts about doing music is the challenge. I love the challenge. I love seeing if I can do it. Can I do it? Can I make my voice do that thing? The emotion is not always really great. Seeing if I can perform what you're coming to me and saying, this is what the vision, this is what I have, can we do it? That's the most fun for me.
Yeah, and one of the fun parts for me is like, yeah, the emotion comes from the music, right?
I would definitely say that, especially with the instruments, because a lot of them are strings in this project, and in this particular part one of the project. Yeah. And
those things are sad as hell.
I love it though. Give me more. One of my favorite things is a bowed bass. Love that. So that's
one of my favorite things too.
Wow, that's shocking. I didn't know you liked basses from how you have no basses in your room there.
I don't see any basses.
So I was going to ask you about Time in a Bottle. So it's a Bach suite is what it's based on.
Cello Suite.
Bach cello suite. How did you come up with that idea for this song? Why did you hear that and
That's a
you're like,
weird. I have a weird recollection. I don't know. I remember. I don't know why I remember this. I remember being in the car. I think with you and Elijah and Mom, and something happened. This is blurry, but
nice.
we were maybe in downtown LA, and we pulled up to a light, and there was a bus stop right next to me, and there was something about the Philharmonic, a poster or something with a cellist on the picture. And I don't know why this popped into my head, but I was like, what if we took one of those Bach cello suites and did it in a minor mode? That's literally what I thought. First of all, and that's another point, is that those things are hard to play as they are. And then you put it in a minor mode, which changes the whole thing. And Cecilia Tsan, who played it, just killed it. Because I remember I put it in front of her, and she just she smiled, rolled her eyes a little bit, like, really, we're going to do this? And it just came out. As soon as she played a couple bars, I was like, this is going to work.
I know. Just hearing it, I knew it had to be the first song of the album.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what am I listening to? And then you hear the lyrics, and you're like, what?
Yeah. But as soon as you have an idea like that, a lot of the original recording elements of the original recording, you have to dispense with them because they won't work over that. So I think that's one thing that I'm proud of, both for you and I in this project, is there were a lot of times we were like, we're not using that.
Yeah. It doesn't work. It's nice, but that's nice. It's great. It had its time in the light.
But if you're gonna tear songs apart and
you gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you have to embrace that. I think. So if anybody's angry or upset about it, I'm deeply not sorry.
Yeah, you can fight them if
we can fight.
Yeah.
So I know you've been studying singing, vocal performance and techniques
recently.
So some of these phrases are lengthy, So is there an approach to how you breathe or how you accent different parts of the phrase, or are you just sort of purely treating it as a melodic line?
I'd like to think that I have a bit of a stylistic approach when I sing any song, and it kind of just transfers over to whatever I'm singing.
Right.
So there are certain things that currently I'm trying to kind of expand my repertoire and my abilities, my singing abilities, but I like to kind of exaggerate certain things that I can do in some of my singing. And so I like to drag out the ends of phrases. I like to drag out kind of the vowel sounds and try to put in a little vibrato when I can. A lot of the songs that we have transformed, the outcome is kind of melancholy. That seems to be our default, and I love our default. It's fantastic. But I think, again, my general approach that I take to any song that I'm singing, it goes really well with that kind of somber, slower, introspective vibe that we tend to do time and time again. I should know these things, but I was looking at what the song was originally about. And so I was looking at it, and it said that Jim Croce wrote the song the night that his wife told him that she was pregnant with their first child. And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Oh, we have to redo it.
I know, because we make it all sad and because that's how I approach the song. Is I took it in the perspective of somebody that maybe they've lost that person that they're singing about, right? Or they're no longer in their life for whatever reason. And they're kind of reminiscing. And they wish that they could keep all those moments and have those days and keep it all for, forever.
It's interesting because our arrangement sort of starts pretty dark, but then it goes to a very...
It does. It goes to...
And a happy kind of... So when I was doing the arrangement, I thought, just that element of the lyric is both really sad and precious at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really about time slipping by. And do you sort of dwell on the fact that it's going away, or do you enjoy
why you
have a chance to be a part of it? I was sort of playing both sides of that, kind of is what made it fun. there's a lot of, on the whole project, there's a lot of things where you double and triple yourself.
Yes.
Now, I've worked with a lot of singers in my day, and you have a particular knack for that. Maybe it's because I made you do that from early on. But how do you approach that? Because I notice when we record, sometimes you want to hear your original track, sometimes you don't. It sort of varies depending upon, I don't know, the musical context of things. And do you have a plan when it's time to do that?
What I like to do when I record any song is I like to do a bunch of takes till I get one that I'm really satisfied with, because I'm a perfectionist, which comes from you. I know that.
Don't blame it on me.
But once I've gotten a take that I like, I've sung it in a particular way, physically and even mentally. I've sung it in a particular way that I produced the result that I wanted. So all I do for when I'm doubling or tripling is I recreate whatever I had just done with my voice, with my breathing, you know, whatever, to get that same product. It goes through my mind as I'm doubling and doing all of these layering things to just trust that I'm going to match it up. But trust that I did it once, I can do it again. So I don't sit there and I go, let me get that next note, let me do that. I just am like, no, I am the same person who came, you know, who produced the first result, so I can do it again. That's just kind of mentally how I do it, and it works. I don't know. It just works. I have moments where I need to be really precise. Again, that's something I really love, is the challenge, and can I do it? But then kind of trusting and knowing in the back of my head, yeah, I can.
Yeah, I had a teacher a long time ago who used to yell at his students when he sensed that they were guessing. He would say, "Don't guess." And to this day, I hear that, you know, because there's so many times as a musician where you're like, well, I'll do it, you know. And this whole thing is, don't guess. And I know working with you, you rarely guess. You're like, either I know what I'm going to do, or I'm not ready to do it.
Yeah, either it's going to sound good or it's going to be a mistake. There's really no in between. And if it's a mistake, that's what I love about recording, is you can do it again. You can do it till you're happy with it, you know?
Yep.
So
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.